Yo, hello, I'm Jay Beershank. Thanks for joining me here on another edition of Book Reviews. Today, I actually just finished this book today. We're going to go over 11 Minutes by Paulo Coelho. This book was really fun for me. And it's funny how it always seems like books come into your life at the perfect time, you know? Like you have a question or something you're going through and just trying to understand about yourself or the world or whatever it may be. The right books always seem to come to you. And lately, I've always been a guy who's, I've thought of myself as a lover, like a romantic man. And I was never really able to fulfill my dreams of romanticism and sacred sexuality, no matter how many escapades I embarked upon. Sorry, that's not a very good wording. But lately I've been having such a strong aversion when I meet women to have sex with them, which when I was younger I would always have sex rather quickly because I felt like, you know, a true romantic, you know, is able to bring a woman into that space of, you know, union and divine love and sacred sex and things like that. But I never felt like I was able to get there. And this book really put in perspective for me in a really grounded way what is sacred about sex. And I've read a lot about tantric sex and tantra, and you know, that's great and interesting stuff to learn about, and there's still more for me to learn about that. I'd love to be able to give a tantric massage. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that or had one, but those look crazy. I've seen videos where guys or women just run their hands along people's bodies, and it's like, oh, that stuff's crazy to me. But this book talked about it in a much more grounded way because it's from the perspective of a young woman who, I'll give a little bit of a plot. She comes from Brazil, she goes to Switzerland, she becomes a woman of the night, and you know, it's just a really interesting account of her finding her sexuality and becoming empowered as a woman, and what that really means for her and what that means for all of us. It's through the perspective of a woman, but even me as a young man, I was able to get and receive so much information and so much value from this book, just for the pure fact that the man she falls in love with, well, all the men that she has experiences with can teach you something, because they're all aspects of sexuality that we all have inside of us and we all can embody. Like there's the sensualistic kind of like dark, evil, sadomasochism side of sexuality that is explored in this book, which I never ever thought that I would be able to resonate with, but the way that it's explained in this book really helped me understand how it's appealing and where the appeal is. And also the fact that just because it's the duality of, you know, divine sacred love and divine sacred sex, just because it's the duality of that does not make it bad or wrong or, you know, harmful or anything like that. You know, to be exclusively within one world without understanding the significance of the other is the only quote-unquote bad thing that I think exists. And so this book, it goes really in depth with that side of it, but then she also meets this other man that just he's like, I resonated with him a lot because he had, the same as me, an aversion to sex. He had been with lots of women and he had love in his life, but he's around 30 and he's just kind of like, he's not interested and he doesn't have that attraction anymore, and he feels like he's lost that zest for life. And their relationship and their union and their dance of bringing each other back into this like beautiful, excited, almost like a child's mind. Like they're like bringing each other back to purity, and they're bringing each other back to curiosity and back to this place of wanting to live. And it's so interesting because it's all through the idea of desire and pleasure and intimacy and sacred love. And then like they don't even have sex until the very, very end of the book, but it's just, I would really recommend it. I would really recommend it just to put your ideas of sexuality and your own intimacy and divine sex and love and all those things into perspective for you. It really put it into perspective for me. And it helped me articulate so many ideas that I felt deep in my soul and that pained my heart, but I couldn't express them and I couldn't articulate them. And because I couldn't articulate them, I couldn't work through them in a way. But this book, it put it all in such an eloquent, beautiful way that I was working through it with Maria, the woman in this book. I was working through it with her, and I just felt like I was, you know, I felt like I was her and she was me, and we were able to work through these, you know, the pain of desire and love and lust and passion. We were able to work through those and understand those things together. And then there's also some really fun aspects of the book that talk about, you know, you can never lose something because you never actually owned it. You know, you never actually own someone else. You never actually, no one else is yours, so you can never lose them. And the only time that you truly own someone is when you have that sacred intimacy and you become one. You possess the other and they possess you. And you just, you know, and it was such a beautiful idea. And the way that she described it, oh, it was a beautiful book. I'd recommend it. It's a quick read. I read it in a couple days. Highly recommend. 10 out of 10. Thanks for watching. If you read it because of this review, please let me know in the comments. If you like these book reviews, let me know in the comments. Tell your friends and give me a subscribe because it empowers me. Thanks guys. Peace.